Hey, what's up guys, DiplexHeated again. Welcome back to Men of War Soul Squad 2 and the World War 1 mod. Today we're doing the 1916 Easter Rising, and I am super excited because this video has been requested heavily, or this battle rather, and here it is in all of its glory. We're currently in Dublin, although the uprising sort of affected Ireland as a whole. But the majority of manpower during the Easter Rising was allocated in Dublin itself. So anyway, we have here the O'Connell Bridge, followed by the GPO back here, the General Post Office. The GPO acted as sort of the headquarters for the uprising. So that's where a lot of the fighting went down. But there were like plenty of groups spread out throughout the entire city that on the day of the uprising actually fortified the buildings and took them over, and it sort of established a government at the time. So it was very well planned, and the Brits took a while to react to it. Many days actually until the severe fighting went down. So the first couple of days were rather peaceful. I believe I read somewhere on a site, I'm not entirely sure if it's 100% true. It was called like easterrising.ie or something, so it was like an Irish site. But it said that 5 Irishmen were killed, or like 5 Republicans, I guess you could call them, killed at a bridge when they held off like and killed approximately over 200 Brits trying to cross it. It was called, I can't remember what it was called, but it was a really, really small bridge, and there was plenty of pictures of it and whatnot and more to read. But that sounds devastating, and that happened later on. But that was also in Dublin. Can you imagine that? 5 men holding off. I think there were more Brits or Irish holding them off, but only 5 dead. The Brits only killed 5 while taking hundreds of casualties trying to cross that and take it. It was just, that sounds mad, like madness. And the Brits, by the end of the conflict and the uprising, had like 16,000 troops in Dublin that were sent in. And there were thousands of, I guess you could call them IRA soldiers in the rising as well. Mainly, I guess, former civilians or civilians in general, you know, people who were loyal to Ireland and that cause. And then I'm sure there were plenty of loyalists, as they were called, not Republicans, that were loyal to the Brits, who would also take up arms and whatnot. It was just a big conflict. So this might be a tiny bit of a controversial video depending on my audience. It's been heavily requested, and here it is. This is a beautiful map made by Mighty Mapper 123. I'm not overly read up on the conflict, so I'm not going to speak more. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people filling up the information and filling in the gaps in the comment section, so do please don't butcher me if I did say anything wrong. I've just been reading the sources I can find online, and you know, sources are always sources, and they come from somewhere, and sometimes it's true and sometimes it's not. But that aside, it was one hell of a bloody conflict for the few days that it lasted. So without further ado, I think it's about time we start this fight, and it takes a while for the units to actually arrive. So while we've clicked start now, we can actually head in and check out some of the IRA soldiers here have held up. There's a man with a nice little hat. We have a Lewis gun, plenty of mainly Lee Enfields, or what it appears to be that kind of gun. Just spread out. These men here are, interestingly enough, not on hold position. They actually have the ability to retreat across the bridge in case the British resistance gets too heavy, or like the attacks become too overwhelming. Trinity College is back in this direction. It was on the south side of the O'Connell Bridge. This is to the north, I believe. And that was a British strong point, so they will be attacking from there a lot. And the defenses get successively better and heavier as the closer you get to the GPO. There's like a few hundred IRA soldiers deployed here in this moment, so it's going to be one hell of a fight. It was like a proper revolution. It was definitely not just a small gang of you know, people taking up and trying to form a new government. It was bloody Valkyrie, you know, Operation Valkyrie during World War II, but minus the fact that the Wehrmacht soldiers who took part in Valkyrie actually thought they were serving a different purpose, and these men wouldn't be turned by a simple phone call like, hey, actually, you know, the IRA leaders are they're actually loyalists. They're just fooling you. Anyway, the attack will start any moment now. It's kind of a quiet day here. Got this man laying it over. Oi! Haven't shaved in a while. Oh! First set of British infantry is arriving from strong point back there. 2 squads running down either side of the street. They're guess they wasn't expecting a lot of resistance, but they're the front force to find out exactly what the IRA is packing back here. They're being pushed back quite a bit, forced to take cover. They weren't entirely sure of where the IRA were held up, but they've been given a couple of days to fortify their positions now. This is not what it would look like if they hadn't been given that time. The Brits were very slow to react to it. Perhaps they underestimated. I mean, the British intelligence in general was really, really poor at the time for the battle and for the resistance. So they came a little unprepared at an early stage, and that's at least what I've read on a few sites here and there. Troops moving about. Seem to have knocked out most of the first squad. A few more men are trying to move up here. Damn, love that bullet sound, or the impacts. He actually kind of sounded Irish in a way, although they have the just regular, you know, British voice pack Commonwealth. I think they all share the same, the Canadians, the Scots, the Brits and whatnot. But he, for once, actually did sound kind of Irish. That was cool. They're going to try again. Being held back, but there's just very few IRA soldiers holding this down here. Another squad has arrived to reinforce, and there's going to be mixed. I looked online and I actually saw some troops with helmets and some without, so it's mixed. I thought that'd make for the nicest mixture. And look at them all. Oh, that was a double kill with one bullet. You COD kids call that collateral, although collateral is actually something else. Collateral damage is damage done to objects and property and whatnot that wasn't actually considered part of the fight. Like, collateral is like if I bomb a military structure here and the other two structures next to it isn't military or point of the objective or target. If they are damaged, then that is collateral damage. So I guess if you kill two people, then that's collateral, because the other guy wasn't the actual target of your bullet, but maybe he was, so then it wouldn't be a collateral. I guess depends on how you look at it. These Brits are forced back. We got a Lewis gun holding it down over here, suppressing. We got another soldier. The IRA is inflicting a lot of casualties to the attacking Brits so far. They're pulling back. They're forced to. They have no other alternative. They're trying and trying, and I'm sure more troops are on the way. How are the IRA looking? They've definitely taken casualties. I'm counting several up here. The center is still holding finally. Some have actually pulled back, it seems. There was a Lewis gun down the center, but it's pulled back a bit because it's in a very exposed position down the center, and I understand why you wouldn't want to remain there for too long. These side buildings here are still occupied. More troops are moving up. I really love this street combat in World War I. It's really cool. Oh, that guy was shot down by a Webley, I believe, but he was quickly killed back by some of the returning fire. Lewis gun opening up. Look at that hip fire. It was designed for the ability to be hip fired like a good gun too. I've seen an hour and a half long documentary on the Lewis gun itself, the origins and everything, and how it was a perfect trench boom and whatnot, and not meant for like long suppressing fire, you know, like a light or medium or heavy machine gun. It was really meant to be like a versatile infantry weapon for light infantry tactics. Not at all the kind of heavy infantry tactics or the long endurance fighting like a static weapon would do. But very cool indeed. Plenty of things to talk about that we're not going to get into depth with this right now. But more infantry moving up. Oh jeez, look at them. Starting to take some ground here. We're pushing them back. Some IRA soldiers. Ooh, we even have some troops coming in from the flanks now along the canal or the river. But I'd call that a canal running down the center. We have some troops moving in on this side. They're going to quickly find cover here behind the wall, or whatever you want to call that. I suppose it's a bit of a wall. Look at these men. They're pulling back. They have no choice. The pressure is very heavy. Oh. Love the bullet impact on the building back there. On the building. Whoa. Vehicle shot. Engines smoking. Some Lewis guns and whatnot suppressing the infantry that have probably occupied a building back there. I'm gonna look at some of the other Easter Rising buildings. There was a good let me see here. The Irish Volunteers, the Irish Citizen Army, Hibernian Rifles and whatnot. 1,250 in Dublin apparently, and about 2,000 to 3,000 volunteers elsewhere. Wow. Look at them. Jeez. Over 500 people died in just 5 days. That is absolutely insane. Artillery has been moved up as well. They're back here to provide support, but right now the targets are very much covered by friendly forces, so I doubt we'll be seeing any of that. But troops are moving up here on the side of the bridge, trying to avoid the center, because that's a kill zone, so they're trying to kind of cover here by the sides. It's a hard progress. It's a really hard assault, considering all the forces in the nearby areas and whatnot. Look at this building, how much fire it's taking. It's being absolutely pummeled. That is fantastic. And crazy at the same time. More troops moving up. They're using this side here by the canal as some sort of cover. Oh, wow, they're shooting people down from the building. One person just fell out of a window, probably fell down on the underside or inside. More troops moving up the center. Both buildings on each side of the bridge here are taking so much fire. You'd think that they're almost cleared out entirely, but no, there's a shooter up here. A marksman. O'Donnell. Owen Mc... There we go. Just gonna say a bunch of names. What is this British gunner doing? He is just charging up. Why hasn't he been shot? Ooh, jeez, that helmet went flying. Well, he was killed. Killed in action, killed in stupidity for running out like that, but I was trying to earn a medal perhaps. Or draw fire so that his troops could cover up. Maybe it was a brilliant move. He risked his life. Jeez, lots of British casualties and Irish as well, of course, but the Brits are attacking with numbers, I'll tell you that much. So the Brits are doing, or the IRA is doing really well for as long as they can. Can I even call them IRA? Because that's when they became the Republic, and they weren't a Republic before then, were they? I mean, yeah. I mean, I was right. Known as the Easter Rebellion. They must have been the IRA. Ooh, artillery opening up. Look at this. Yeah, there's plenty of interesting reading to be done about this on the Wikipedia page right now a little bit. Long-range gun battles, sniping, there was gunboats, there was artillery, fierce street fighting, just jeez. Look at that. Germany had sent a shipment of arms to the rebels, but the British had intercepted it just before the rising began. Volunteer leader Owen McNeill had then issued a countermand in a bid to halt the rising, which greatly reduced the numbers of rebels who mobilized. Imagine if they would have gotten those German guns, thousands of guns, perhaps artillery and whatnot, and then had even more people uprising. That could have been a huge problem for the Brits attacking. Look at that. They're getting closer now. I mean, yeah. Not sure what I was trying to support myself from saying it, but they are indeed getting closer. Artillery is... they have fired a few shells. We do see craters around here and there, but there's one right there. Big old crater. But the artillery will find their targets in their own time and do as they wish with it. Right now, it's just good support. There are so many Brits moving up the streets now. This is really cool. I hope this does a good job symbolizing the struggle here and the fight itself. I need to go watch a movie about the 1916 Easter Rising, so I would love it if everyone out there could just tell me what's a good movie. What's a great 1916 Easter Rising movie? Because I feel like this is such a tremendous part of history in a way. This kind of uprising with so many casualties and so much fighting that there's got to be some good pieces about it. I'm sure there is. There's one called not Phil Collins, but or is it? No, it's not. Jeez, I know who that is, but it's called something with Collins, and I should know. Michael Collins, of course. That's something I'd like to see. Fighting is so fierce right now. It's hard to tell who's winning. The Brits have more or less stopped receiving reinforcements back here, so they'll have to do with the company they've deployed, and they've... Jeez. More of a battalion, rather, to be honest. So many casualties. There's just dead Brits all over these streets. I think for every dead IRA soldier, there's got to be 4 or 5 British casualties, considering the defenses that the IRA had manned. They're making progress, though. They're getting far back in here. The GPO is under siege. I'm going to quickly go ahead and reorganize the Irish defense a little bit. They need to be versatile. Get behind cover in the right way like that. Looking very grim for the IRA soldiers. There's still resistance back here, but they're starting to lose a lot of numbers now. The Brits are still moving up. Killing off a few of the last defenders. More Brits are storming the scene. Look at them rushing up to the GPO entrance. There's still some resistance back there. Might be a little bit here and there. Look. I think they've killed them all off. They're just making sure they're all dead. It's a bit of a chaotic scene here. Jeez. More reinforcing soldiers moving up. These were intended to arrive at this time, but on their arrival, the IRA defenses were still meant to be very much more active, and I can admit that. So the Brits have done a very good job at crushing the Irish resistance much earlier than expected, and not expected, but also tested. Everyone do have to realize that I probably run my scenarios a good 5 or 10 times to make sure they're somewhat balanced and that both sides have a possible chance of winning. And you just get a different result every time. So don't come crying if it doesn't suit you. That's just the game doing its thing, and that just needs to be respected. I think there's a few more Brits coming up on this side. Just a few squads, you know. We have another squad moving in on this side, here and there. And also, they were obviously meant to be active when this defense was still alive, and they just got killed very early on. So I'd say a much-deserved victory for the Brits, who've done so much better than I wouldn't say they were supposed to, but than I expected and had previously seen, despite massive casualties. We'll take the IRA in yellow and the Brits in red, and we can tell that the Brits have been all absolutely butchered, but that would go for the IRA as well, I'd say. I'm trying to not make anyone feel so sore with whatever I'm saying, but I'm trying to be factual and very logical in my... Look at this here. This is a kill streak for the Brits. They have lost bloody 2 squads, almost a whole platoon, just trying to move up here. And they're definitely taken more casualties, but obviously the Irish have been defending. And over here, it's a clean sweep of Irish casualties, just almost like they've been lined up and executed. Very bloody indeed. And back here, this look at them. They're just leaving this sort of barracks back here and whatnot, and they're a little too late, and they're gonna get shot down and somewhat executed. Jeez, that is nasty. I'll tell you that much. But a good fight indeed. A good fight indeed. Plenty of casualties, and we like that. But I can't keep repeating it, or I can't stop repeating it. Rather, I expected a much slower advance from the Brits, or a more firm Irish hold, and it all depends on, you know, there's a million factors that go into it, like who misses, who hits, who moves where, and who moves there, and what grenades are thrown or what artillery shells are fired. It can kill 5 people, and those 5 people could hold off another 20. You know, that's all that comes down to it. It's always going to be very random. And I did expect a slightly, like the troops over there were obviously meant to arrive as reinforcements when the inner circle was still alive, and the inner circle died many minutes before before they were meant to die, or not meant to die. Obviously, if they would have all have lived, then they would have been. There would have been more days to the Easter Rising than historically accurate. But that is really not something I am opposed to. This editor and game just kind of does what it wants at time. But I don't think I need to explain myself anymore. I think everyone understands. If you're just trying to explain why that could have been a little awkward for them arriving like that. But look, it's a bloody execution back there. Hope you guys enjoyed this fight, and I will see you guys soon again. And also, as this last point, the Brits have way more men alive this time than I've previously seen. So they've done good. Everyone happy, though. I hope you guy enjoyed it. Try not to get too political. We're just repeating a part of history here, and that's how it is. I know it's going to be one of my more controversial videos, though. I know that. But it's been so requested I had to make it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys soon again. Ciao.